Hi everyone, I'm Rubina Khan and welcome to the ninth edition of Rubina's Radar. I'm in conversation with a man who couldn't be more in step with the genderless fashion movement of today if he tried. An industrialist with an internal heart of a seeker and a fashion radical who took couture into India's business boardrooms and made it oath. Yash Birla, everyone. Hi,
Hi, Rubina. How are you?
I can see you very well. There should be a little bit more light on that handsome face. Handsome and
More light
ageless
on
face.
that. On the face. Thank you for the compliment. I don't know whether it's handsome or not. Yeah, but I'll try to put some more light. Yeah.
Oh, come on, you're legend handsome.
That's so kind of you. You've always been so kind. Your
Well,
words are kinder than what is the reality, but thank you.
oh, that's your graciousness. So, is he putting on more light? And should I get started?
He's trying. Yeah, you done? I think he's put on something from the phone. Is that okay? Is it fine now?
Yeah, I mean, if you come a little closer, maybe I can see you more. Yeah, great. Yeah, that should do it. Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Right.
So, Yash, the Indian business community didn't take quite well to your fashion forwardness in the 90s. I want to know what kind of clothes were you wearing to the office that created such a mocking and shocking situation for them?
So I don't think it's the business community, it's general people and perception which people build. So in office, I was never without formal clothes. Of course, in those days, if you had a board meeting, you had to wear a suit, a formal suit. Otherwise, a shirt and tie, or maybe just a casual shirt, but never in t-shirts. But you see, people believe what they perceive as reality, which is far away from it. So if they say you see you in a newspaper wearing these silver blingy things, they think that's the way you are all the time. But our life is always divided into many compartments. So we are businessmen, we are parents, we are householders, we are ourselves at many times. And it's not that you have to be put in a compartment and dress up one way always.
Indeed.
So you respect the environment you're in. So if you're at office, obviously it's a business attire. If you're in a puja, then you have to be in an Indian attire, preferably, if it's an auspicious puja. And I think one must respect that, but at the same time, never give up individuality. To say that this dress continues throughout, this is the way I'm going to be. Because then you're not getting the flexibility of being an individual person that you are.
Right. Which brings me to my next question is that being a Birla sign with a family deeply rooted in tradition and the old guard, how did you get the courage to express your individualism in a business family that is so large and so entrenched in tradition?
So I think the tradition is more something what you think and believe rather than what you exhibit. I mean, yes, inside out is a common theory, but I do believe traditionalism, a lot of people, in fact, can portray themselves very traditional, but inside you are not traditional. Now, what is culture? It's something which you've grown up with, value, Indian culture, Indian systems. So for me, I've always followed what my beliefs are, I won't even call them tradition, to the T. So we as a family, most of the family members never touch alcohol, nor have I. We are pure vegetarians, so am I. No other intoxication substances. We don't believe in all these things. We believe in that we are here as a representative of the community, and even our business we are doing as a trustee. And ultimately, it is all transitory. Things come, go. Ups and downs come and go. But ultimately, you have to do what the divine wants you to do, which is your karma yoga. And I think that's more family tradition than what you see me looking like.
Right. Well said. So, what drew you into the world of fashion and couture?
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
What drew you into the world of fashion and couture?
I won't say couture. Fashion, I think, is individualistic. I think even when I was in college studying, I always liked to. I guess it's an expression of individuality. So you just like to uh, pick up what you feel is good without thinking about what people will think is good or not, or without thinking what people will perceive whether it looks good on you or not. Because I do believe that your belief is the most important. Because if you don't have belief, then you may be conventionally the best dressed, but somebody may have something adverse to say to anybody, and that's the nature of the world. So I've always to answer your question more straightforwardly, I've always been interested in being a little fashion oriented. I'm very fond of clothes. I'm very fond of dressing up what I think is my way. And it's from as early as my college days. So I was always dressed up distinctively, if I may call it that.
Great word to use, yes. You are distinct indeed. So you always have styled yourself, right?
Always, yeah. Never taken help. My wife has tried to style me many times, which she feels I must be more conservative. So she says, like how you said, business community must dress. So she said you should wear more suits and formal shirts. But I just reject everybody's intervention, including hers. So I style myself. I like to do what I believe in, and I like to just be the way I am.
I love the fact that you're your own person, bereft of any outside perception of you. It's a very hard place to be and a very easy place to be once you're in it.
Because it's if you keep living for the outside, then you will always be stressed about everything you do. Because you should accept that everybody has different opinions. You should live with them. Main thing is live with your conscience. Your conscience is there. You can do things which are not accepted conventionally, but don't do anything which your conscience doesn't accept. Because your conscience is there all the time to tell you what is good and bad for you, not good and bad in general. And I follow my conscience to the T. So then I don't have any skepticism what anybody may think or do or say.
I love that. You're inspirational. So you've always worn newer designers and not really had a repetitive sort of favorite of any of the big brands or whatever. Was that intentional to be unpredictable in fashion, or did you just, it happened?
So, I would never go into a store and buy something head to toe, like how it's on the mannequin or in the fashion book. I always like to go walk around. I'm a very quick chooser. I don't even need to try it on. When I look at something, I know this is what I like, it look good on me. So I like to go to multiple places and put things together because that's where your creativity comes in. That's where expressiveness comes in. If you just copy something from head to toe of a designer, then where is your creativity? It's nowhere. So I go to a lot of street shops, streetwear, nice, trendy clothes. Doesn't have to be labeled as a designer. I'm not saying I don't wear designers, but it's not necessary for me. It's one of the many things.
So, what would you describe your style as?
That's a tough one, but I would say my style is me. My style is Yash's style. That is a Yash Birla
it's
style.
Like you're the Billie Eilish of fashion in India. There's Billie Eilish kind of music, and then there's Yash Birla kind of fashion.
Well, I don't know what that means, but yeah, it's my own way. Because if somebody asks me who inspires you in fashion or who do you look up to, I'm blank. I have nobody. I don't study Instagram, nor do I study fashion journal. I just very impulsive. It's just spontaneous for me. It's not thought of much. I don't waste too much time in it. Also, I take like 7 minutes to get ready. Just
7.
Yeah, 7. Exactly 7. I go in, I just spontaneously pick up my clothes, and I'm out. Even if it's for a party, it's 7 minutes.
So you've timed yourself.
Yeah, often. Strictly just getting ready, picking my clothes and putting them on is 7 minutes.
So everyone's working from home, and so must you, I'm assuming. What do you wear when you're on these business meetings, or do you go to the office? Is it more casual now because of the times we're living in?
You're very right, because the office is not fully functioning. Then everybody's not present, the administrative staff and all. So it's more just management level people. So at this time, I think the pandemic, everybody's realizing what is important is your focus and what you do, and do things which you really believe in creatively, because as an entrepreneur, we have to be creative. So whether you go to office or not, is like I'm feeling as close to you as I was when I'm sitting next to you, because we are on Insta Live. It's like that even at office. I can have a communication from here. It doesn't matter what I'm wearing because I'm sitting at home. Even if I'm at office, not in front of a large, fully occupied office. So I sometimes wear casual clothes even to office now, which I used to wear only on Fridays. I used to have Fridays casually, but now it goes on and off.
It's become very relaxed.
That's very relaxed, and I feel it sometimes adds to your creativity, because So I have this thing, even when I used to go to work and I used to come back home, I used to like in the next 5 minutes, as soon as I reach home, I have to get out of my office clothes, I have to get into my casuals because I feel relaxed. It's a change of environment, change of clothes, and change of your whole state of being.
Yes.
So I just feel that sometimes being a little more relaxed also makes you think in a more relaxed way.
Indeed. So this is something I want to know. Do you, express yourself with clothes and jewelry to take the attention away from your beautiful face, your handsome face, or is it something else? I have to know
No.
this.
No, it's supposed to complement the handsome face, quote unquote, if that's what you perceive it. And thank you again. It's very sweet of you. It's supposed to, I guess, complement that. I don't want the attention to go. I'm not skeptical or conscious of attention. I'm fine. I'm fine if I walk into a room
and everyone's looking at you.
around. I have no issue. Some of them may be looking at me not appreciatively. That's also cool. I'm cool.
So is there any advantage to being this good looking?
Well, I don't believe I'm so good looking.
I wanted to make you laugh.
Advantage.
Because I'm sure good looking men also have disadvantages to being like that.
That's so kind. I mean, you're just so kind with your words. I'm really grateful. But no, I mean, of course, superficially, I must say it adds to your confidence, whatever you perceive. But it's again a perception. It's your confidence. Whether you're good, not good, fit, unfit, it's your belief in yourself which gives you the confidence. This is one of the things that adds to that aspect. But it's not dependent. Let's say tomorrow I stop working out and I'm looking flabby. That doesn't mean I can't walk into a party and I feel that 10 people looking at me is making me conscious. No, because I believe in myself. These are just layers which add to that belief. It's not the core of the belief. It's not the foundation of that belief.
You really speak like a saint, with a face like that, with a body so ripped, which gets me to my next question. Do you buy these ripped t-shirts and jeans, although they just stare on your person because your muscles are like, rippling?
That's so fun. That's really funny. You have a good sense of humor, Rubina, I must say. No, they don't tear on me. I buy them mostly the way they are. And nowadays, and when you go out, sometimes in India, now it's quite prevalent, but they used to not understand saying, kaisa puta kapda pen raha hai, kapda nahi hai kya aap logon ke paas? I had some people telling this to me. But it, of course, torn clothes have their own charm. Again, it used to feel very casual. Even designers make torn clothes, surprisingly. They charge designer prices. You can go cheaper at home. But I do feel that I buy torn clothes. I sometimes rip them a little more. But it doesn't rip on its own.
So you add the Yash Birla vibe to them.
Well, whatever that vibe is, it's there all over.
Now you're a vibe. In India, you're a vibe. You've done what no one has done in the fashion fraternity or as a consumer, actually, not the fraternity, as a consumer. So I think you're like a vibe now. It's a thing.
I like that. Vibe is something which is internal, and I'm happy that my vibe is exhibiting externally as well. Because I come from my soul. So as you talked about the sadhu stage, so I believe the main thing is your connection with your spirit, your soul, with your inner self. And once you're connected with your inner self, then everything else is just a part of that.
Okay, now let me come back to a little bit more physicality. Too much higher altitude stuff. So what is the circumference of your biceps?
Well, I don't know. I haven't measured them lately, but last time...
Approximation?
I think last time somebody forced me to measure them, so they were 17 and a half.
Yeah, I'm supposing that's very good because,
I really don't know. I have no clue. So that's again a perception. See, I
was just going to say that we leave the rest to perceive what they want to.
But I have an advantage, I have to tell you. My handicap is also my advantage. So I'm not very tall. So when you have shorter arms, they always look a little bigger. So even if they're 17 and a half, they sometimes look as if they're 19 because they're a little vertically challenged. Yeah, so I've made that handicap into my asset.
Wow.
So they look a little larger than they actually are.
Well, size does matter in many things in life. I hear. I don't know. I just
Pun
hear.
intended.
I just hear. So, do you work out to feel good? Or do you do it? I'm assuming you do it to feel good and also to fit into these fabulous clothes.
So the second, I must be honest, the second is the primary reason to look good. I am not going to be, what would I say, diplomatic, give the protocol ways the right answer. I do it to feel good or not. The primary reason is to look good, but look good according to what I perceive look good. A lot of people say, oh, buff bodies aren't in, you must be lean. But I believe in what I'm doing. So I like to look good the way I do. But that's the primary reason. But the other thing I must tell you is that a lot of times you're going to the gym with this primary reason, but the secondary reason manifests because when you go into the gym, you're lazy. Sometimes you have a stressful day, you've had a negative day. But as soon as you start working out, slowly, in the next 7-8 minutes, you start feeling good because endorphins getting released, your happy hormones get released. So basically, my advice to a lot of people is that a lot of times you don't want to work out, but just go for it. And once you start, you just see the pleasure because it's like all hormonal, and you start feeling all the stress and worries which you were thinking of pre-workout have gone. So then it becomes a feel-good workout, and then you get that advantage. But to get into the gym, it's the secondary reason. Look good.
Good. Very transparent answer. So how many pairs of jeans do you own? And how many do you actually wear?
Never counted, Rubina, to be honest.
Okay, let's ballpark.
But I'll tell you a secret.
500.
I'll tell you a secret. I have jeans which I do fit into them, fortunately, which are as long as 18 years old. They just lie there. I like to preserve clothes. Of course, I give a lot of my clothes out to people who like them, whether it's relatives, cousins, or for charity. But I also preserve a lot of my clothes. So I suddenly wear something. Last evening, I was wearing something which I bought 15 years ago. And then these, like, I don't know, they're like these Elvis bell-bottom pants, which probably went out. They came in, they went out. So I go into the cycles of when they're out and in, and I wear it again when they come back in. But I preserve them.
But who else could recycle the fashion trends but you? You have everything in your closet. So whatever is in, out, you can just say, oh yeah, 1980, yes, I have it.
That's fortunate for me that I have a slightly enough place in my home for a wardrobe. I'm blessed by God to have enough space in my wardrobe so I can store these things. But yeah,
I'm assuming it's a walk-in.
Not really. I would say it's a walk-in.
But is it one room, a whole room?
It's a room. It's an annexure to a bathroom.
So it's not a walk-in closet. You have a walk-in room full of clothes.
It's not as luxurious as it sounds. Yeah, but it stores a lot somehow. And that's because I'm fond of wearing clothes which I liked even 15 years ago. It's just a passion. It's nothing to do with the It's just that I like to reinvent them and wear it with something totally different.
Yeah, and make it new again.
Yeah. That's a nice way to put it. So everything in life, if we consider as old and gone and redundant, if you look at it from a new perspective, it can look new again. And you can get excited about it again.
So what do you like wearing the most? Out of all these, some casual, some formals, kurta pajamas, what do you like wearing the most?
Casual, 100%. I'm sure you know that. So what I'm wearing a simple t-shirt and some little probably fashionable jeans or track pants is my favorite garb, basically. So I think over the years, I must say I've toned down a little bit. So 15 years back, I used to wear something, should I call it over the top? Yeah, but let's call it over the top. Over the top, a t-shirt over the top.
I guess for that time.
Yeah, for that time. So everything was over the top. But now, there's a distinctive feature only on one part of whether it's the track pants or the shoes or the t-shirt. Not everything has got something different on it. Because you graduate.
Right. And you know what you used to wear, which was considered OTT or wild then, is so de rigueur today. Like, everyone's wearing what you used to wear. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that is true. I do say that. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a trendsetter, but yeah, what was considered not very congenial to the environment in those days. Today, the whole world is doing it in every way. That's good.
And some of them not very successfully.
Because again, you have to have confidence in what you do.
Right.
You do what you want to do, but you have to have confidence and belief. Your inner belief has to be there. Otherwise, you're going to not look and walk and talk confidently. Then that whole outfit, however beautiful it is, just doesn't stand out.
Yeah. So this is a very, very domestic question. Right. Have you ever run a washing machine cycle and taken care of your clothes by physically washing them by your hands, with your hands rather, or a machine?
I think when I was a kid, yeah, but not of late, I must be honest. As a kid, you like to do all these things. You like to go where your people in your house helps in your house are working. You like to sit there. You like to sit with a bucket of water and do things yourself. It gives you joy. And not that it won't give me joy. Apparently, it's supposed to be very therapeutic. I'm told cleaning, even plates. So when I go abroad, a lot of times I clean my plates and all. Scrub my plates.
So a little bit domestication is there.
Yeah, so it's very therapeutic. You feel very good doing things yourself, being dependent on yourself. Nobody else is needed, and doing something which cleans something which is dirty. It's like a whole feeling. So I do it, but I must be honest, not very often.
Oh, that's okay.
But now to remind me, so I may start doing it again as an adventurous thing.
Oh, I want to click pictures when you're running a washing cycle.
No, while I'm scrubbing, forget the washing machine.
Oh, okay, I'm still clicking pictures.
Do it the old-fashioned way.
Okay. So Mahatma Gandhi used to stay in your house, which is Birla House in Bombay, whenever he was in the city. And you guys still have kept the room the way it was. That's what I hear.
So I've not kept the interiors the way they were because they obviously weathered with the ages. But so I have photographs in my home. Actually, the place I'm sitting also, there are photographs in this room because the decor has changed with Gandhiji, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, right here with the same background, which I've put up all over my offices and my staircase and the room used to stay in. So the room structures as it is, but the interiors have changed. But I have the memorials of the residents of Gandhiji and Vallabhbhai Patel who passed away in this house. He actually breathed his last year, and his funeral went up from somewhere very close to where I'm sitting. So I have preserved all those resonances in the form of photographs with them in a similar background. And see, my great grandfather was very actively associated with the entire freedom movement. So a lot of political meetings used to happen here. So even people like Indira Gandhi and all, they've all been photographed in this house.
Wow.
So those are very cherishable. I won't say cherishable from the point of view of that. It's all important. It's culture. You see the clothes of that time. You see the saris of that time. You see the behavior of that time. It's like a whole new world, but it's so charming.
It's like a passage of history.
Culture, politically important people, if you know what I say.
Like a passage of history through your home.
Yeah. And then you see, of course, today it's modern. We are all living a modern life. We have to evolve and graduate and move on. But there's such a charming connect with the past because your inner self will always be connected. There's something similar to what fashion was telling you. What you are on the outside doesn't have to really coincide with the inside.
Yeah.
You are one, but it can appear different.
So the room is not used. Do you use the room for family, or is it just there?
No, we use the room. Okay. My parents used to use the room also. And, it's a lovely. It's a room. It had a swimming pool.
So what kind of energy emanates from the room? Because I thought it was like left to its own devices now. No one used it. So I thought there should be some sort of energy emanating from that room. And what about it inspires you?
So the energy, I must tell you certain things I believe in. It sounds may sound a little outdated. So your whole house is like a temple, right? So whatever your beliefs are, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. You have to connect with your home and where you stay. So in my house, like let's say Gandhiji believed in no alcohol. Gujarat doesn't serve alcohol. So I don't serve alcohol in my house. in the boundaries of my house. If at all my kids want to have a party, then they have to serve it in the garden, not in the house. So all these rooms have the resonance of a lot of whatever he believed, Gandhi believed. I never get non-vegetarian food in my house. He was vegetarian. We are all vegetarian. So I don't allow it in my house. When you go out, I'm ready to treat you to a non-veg meal because I don't need to judge. But it doesn't come into my house. We also follow our rituals and spiritual practices on the days we are supposed to or on a daily basis. So these all things, what I'm trying to say, Gandhiji believed in all this. He believed in the Gita. He used to have a prayer meeting every evening at my home. Those traditions will continue. So that resonance, whether the room is like that or not, the philosophies will continue. And because the philosophies continue, I can still feel that resonance around me and also within.
Yeah, interesting. Have you ever worn khadi? Or do you have a
I've
khadi?
worn khadi Indian clothes. I go to Rishikesh very often, one of my favorite places. So there are like these local flea markets. You have a lot of khadi, kurtas, whatever. But I must tell you that those also I kind of contemporize. Even an Indian khadi outfit, like so let's say it's like a proper kurta, whatever. I'll probably cut up some sleeves or I'll do something at the end. I'll tell some tailor to do something. So I make it my own way. But yeah, I want khadi in that way, not in the traditional format, but in my altered format.
So on one hand, you're this, fashion radical. On the other hand, you're this quiet, soul-searching, spiritual seeker who's quiet and calm. How do you balance the traditionalism of your existence with the modernist life that you lead?
So paradox is a part of life.
Right.
With every what is good, which is not bad, right? How do we know what is good? Because it's not bad. So there are always two opposite sides to the spectrum. It's just that how you see unity in diversity. That's what your life will be. So for me, everything is connected with as I told you, my conscience, my soul, my spirit. So as long as I'm following that path in my life, and I'm intentionally not doing anything contradicting that, then everything is balanced. It doesn't imbalance. So I may be perceived that we believe okay if you're a holy person, spiritual person, sit at home and meditate or go to the Himalayas. No, meditation is alive all the time, 24/7. Walking, talking. You go to a club, you go to a techno club, feel the techno music, and go into a state of meditation. So we have all these stories of the Shiva Tanda, we have story of the Krishna Ras Leela, dance, music. These are all expressiveness of inner joy, if it's looked at correctly. Now, I'm not saying people think that okay, go and smoke up something and drink something and then feel one. That's all rubbish. That's why I don't indulge in these things. But if you really feel it from within, you can. It's a very good balance because there's no balance needed. It's just one. Everything is one.
So you go to the Shiv temple in Shivaji Park every Tuesday around midnight. Don't be surprised how I know. I just sort of know. And I just wanted to ask you, during the earlier lockdown, how did your religious leanings get affected? All your routines of religion that we used to go and, to the temples and things, you couldn't go. So how did you, find it in your home and not in a temple?
So I'll tell you, frankly, I go Siddhivinayak Ganesh temple I used to go to, and even after the very strict lockdown ended, I used to go out and do pranam or look at the top of the temple and do pranam. But more than ritualistic or temples, I believe that the home of God is within. So for me, in fact, the pandemic gave me much more opportunity because of a lot of time to meditate twice a day instead of once a day, to read more spiritual books. I have a temple at home, so I can always sit in that. I don't need to go to an external temple. So in fact, I connected much more with that peaceful state which we are aspiring to all be, that blissful state. Because ultimately, the outside also what we are searching, we find it within. We are just going to an outside environment because it's congenial to reach within. When you go to a temple, you feel something within, so it kind of motivates you to search for that. But ultimately, we all have to go within. That's the ultimate destination. Because that within is only out. The whole entire creation is one. The destination of everybody is one.
So you said your favorite place is Rishikesh.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm aware, but tell me, what do you like to do there? Why is it that it keeps calling you? And what is the joy you feel when you're there?
So as I told you, the resonance, like I told you about what your home should be like a temple. So Rishikesh is something, we read in our script, mythology, story, culture, heritage. It's always been a place of penance, spirituality. A lot of saints of yore have done a lot of meditation. And then there's the Ganges, which is, of course, a holy river. There's the Himalayas, which is a seat of a lot of penance. So the whole energy and the aura is charged with spirituality. So just going there and looking at it, get something activated, some spiritual energy or positivity activated. What I do there is not really that I'm doing only prayers and something like that. So it's actually having no agenda. Of course, when in the pandemic I went there lately, I do my work like I'm doing from home on Zoom. And sometimes it makes you more creative when you're sitting in that environment of the Himalayas and Ganga, you can think much more creatively. So I do that, but there's a lovely flea market. So I'm looking at the more earthly side of Rishikesh. There's a lovely flea market, lovely cafeterias, fully vegetarian, all types of cuisines, whether it's Mexican, Italian, Lebanese, whatever, you get everything. And then you get the lovely little goodies, like a Goa flea market, nice pajamas and dhoti pants and all that. So you go shopping, you go eat out, and then of course you follow your spiritual practices much more because you have more time. You go into a cave and meditate, or you go and sit near the Gangaji and meditate. You take a dip in the freezing, it's freezing the Gangaji. You take a dip that invigorates you. You go to the evening aarti, which is there, Paramartha Ashram and Triveni Ghat. Then you just wander. So the whole idea is not to be in a time zone, not to be with a program schedule, not to be with something who has to meet this one and that one. Just be. That's the story. In an environment which is charged with spirituality and positivity.
So before the pandemic, how many times a year were you making these trips, and how long do you usually stay there for?
Yeah, so before the pandemic, much lesser. So I like the winters, to be honest. I don't like summers get hot like Delhi. So it starts cooling down from October to like, let's say, March. So between October and March, every New Year's, I'm there with my entire family. My children have never attended a New Year's party in Bombay or Goa, anywhere. They all come not because I'm telling you have to come. They all want to come there. So we've celebrated last 20 years New Year at Rishikesh. Diwali is 90% there, and then we go either for Shivratri or Holi. So 3 times a year in that period, the cold period. And maybe I stay there for a week, 10 days each time. So maybe a total of less than a month in a year.
So how has religion and spiritualism shaped your character? Because I think you're the calmest person I know in the whole world. And that's a lot. I have met lots of people. You're the calmest.
No, I see. We even spirituality and religion, we go through things. We go through ups. We go through downs. We go through the same thing what everybody experiences: anxiety, fear, whatever. It's just that you learn to look at it differently when it comes to you. You become like an observer. It's like when you're watching a movie. You're in a horror film. You're getting scared, but it's still a movie. So you're enjoying it, but at the same time you're a little distant. You don't feel like somebody's coming to haunt you. Spirituality is the same thing because the actual soul of spirit and the reality, what we call, is very different from what we think. So our mind keeps thinking, chattering, getting scared, living in the past, future, worrying for the future, resenting the past. So spirituality gets you into the present moment, and in that way you just learn to become an observer. And because you become an observer, those anxieties and stress pass away. They don't harass you or stay on to you. They come, but they go.
Have you ever been angry at God?
Angry?
At God?
No, never. Never, because I believe that every misery that comes to you, I believe in karma, I believe in reincarnation, is something part of your deed. Second, let's look at it, forget what everybody may not believe in. Every problem has something to learn from it, however hard it may be. It may make you stronger, it may make you more introspective, it may make you calmer, it may make you a better person. We don't know. But hidden in that problem, there is something to appreciate, which we may not realize at that time, but it comes later. So I'm never angry saying that, oh, why is this happening to you? Because I know there is something to appreciate, not appreciate is the wrong word, but to accept in the long run about whatever happened.
Yeah. A very, very cool way to look at it. I believe that all the things teach you something and we never see it at that moment. It's always much later or maybe sometimes instantaneously. Sometimes it's instant. So how do you replenish your spent energies at work and play?
Can you repeat that, please?
How do you replenish your energies after work and play?
Again, meditation. So if I'm tired and I go and sit for a pranayam, see, pranic, I'm sounding a little esoteric now, but pranic energy is something which is responsible for our state of mind. So when we are nervous, we are breathing fast and shallow breaths. When you're calm and happy, you're breathing, taking long and slow breaths. So when you're tired also, you can kind of negate the negativity of the tiredness by doing a little bit of pranayama meditation. And you feel tranquil. And then if you have to sleep, go to sleep. Or you will be alive to get out again and do what you have to do. It can work both ways.
Right. So what do your tattoos represent and how many do you have?
So all my tattoos are spiritual. So basically, you will be surprised. This was like first a barbed wire, which I did when I was much younger, and then I thought it's awful because not spiritual, so it used to irritate me. Now to remove a tattoo is a bit complicated because you go for many sessions, there's a patch and whatever. So I said, now what do I do? So I covered it with something spiritual. So I had an artist. I gave him the ISKCON book of Hare Krishna, and then these beautiful paintings. So I gave, and he was Italian, so I gave him motifs. So these are Krishna's eyes. I want Krishna's eyes here, which are here. Then I said I want something with Shiva, so he did this lovely Rudraksh over here, which you can see. Then I wrote Radhe Radhe, which is Krishna and Radha. So this whole thing became like a spiritual tattoo. So everything what I have here or here is all spiritual. This is Krishna.
Please tell me the barbed wire was not an inspiration from Pamela Anderson or something.
As I told you, I don't get inspired by anybody. I don't even know that Pamela Anderson had a barbed wire. Though she's very, I must say, I've seen her movie, very attractive, but I didn't notice that she had a barbed wire.
Barbed wire was just a movie with that name. So I was like, did you get inspired by that?
No. I'll tell you what made me get a barbed wire. That time I was weight training, so I thought a barbed wire would make you look more rustic and tough, So I put a barbell. Sorry?
Like a barbell.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like something which makes you look hard. What is a barbed wire? It's giving you pain, but you can bear it. So it makes you look tough. It makes you feel tough. So maybe that was the psychology at that age. But later on, I didn't like it because something non-spiritual you can't keep with you permanently. It's like a fashion.
Yeah.
So I got out of it, and then after that, I only had spiritual tattoos, something to do with Krishna, Shiva, whatever.
Right.
Whoever, I mean, deities are also an expressiveness of the same divinity. I believe there's one divine entity. Every religion is a part of the same divine entity. It's not that you have to worship a particular deity. But the deity is just an expression of a particular energy you may connect with. So I've got Shiva and Krishna all over, somewhere or the other. I mean, the right places.
You're a holy guy.
There was a book called Holy Cow, which became a bestseller.
I know, that's why I think you Ga mein Matra and ya guy.
So you write a book now. You're a good person who interviews and asks questions very well. So I'm sure you'll be good at writing. So
thank you. Very nice of you to say. I appreciate it. So, who do you look like and behave like now? Your mother Sunanda or your father Yash Birla?
So what I've been told, and I believe that I look more like my mother, and I was very, very attached to her. So I would like to look like her. Yeah, but more like her compared to my father. My sister looked a little more like my father. I look like my mother.
And your children, I want to know, do they share the same sort of wild sensibilities of Vedant, Nirvana, and Shloka like you? And do they flick your clothes, or they're completely separate entities?
No, they are much more conservative in dressing up than me. I think they had their phases where they dressed up a bit on those similar terms, but now they're like Vedant is like a seriously into work and spirituality also, very spiritual. So they dress up much more conservatively. So they're fashionable, but they're not OTT. Let's use that word.
Okay, this question, I'm sure the whole world wants answered. Do you have to father up to look like their father in photographs? Because they're all in their 20s and you look like their siblings. Like, how is this even happening?
No, so I must be honest. No, I don't like to look like their father. So I sometimes I don't have to clarify that. I was just with them. I let them presume it's a friend who's a little older or whatever. But I'm very happy to hear that if somebody says that, and I've heard it. So I mean, I tease
No,
them.
but you do. They're half your age and it doesn't show at all.
Yeah,
they're
so
all in their
I
20s.
enjoy that. I enjoy it. I'm not going to say again as a good protocol. No, that I must look like children's father.
नहीं नहीं हम क्या करें
I
हमारा
enjoy it.
genes है.
I completely enjoy it.
Great, I love that. So this is a fun one. Has anyone ever said I'm not Tata Birla in front of you? Because this is like a word pair that is used in colloquial India. Like everyone speaks that. कभी आपके सामने किसी ने कहा है कि मैं टाटा बिरला थोड़ी हूँ या तुम टाटा बिरला हो? Without realizing you're right there.
Many times, and so now even movies.
Really, tell me one instance. I want to know.
So basically, when even in a lot of movies still now, you have a lot of people making the statement Tata Birla. It's like you say, it's just become a way of saying it. Though now there are many more industrialists who are very famous and successful. But Tata Birla keeps coming. And when I'm in the audience, a lot of people turn around and look at me when this comes, like, hey, and this smile and whatever. And sometimes, these comments also have come. They come very often actually.
But did you know where the word originated?
No, because Tatas and Birlas actually after the independence were the first two families who really took industrialization to a particular level. And then they were both the families very intricately involved with the political people of India.
And the development.
Yeah, and in the shaping of the policies of the nation, and also the cultural of the Tatas as well, and the Birlas, a lot of contribution to the culture and tradition post-independence era. And then, of course, materially successful. So it just all became like, this resonates with success, tradition, politically well-connected families who are basically value-oriented. Tata Birla.
So basically, this word was formed by industrialists in 1944, this word pair, and it was for the Bombay Plan of Development. And it was so successful that it became the first 5-year plan of India. So Tata Birla was the term that was used for the 5-year development plan of modern India, which is post-independence.
Really, this is news to me, Rubina.
It's a real thing. It's a real
wow. I must look this up. I
think I know little things like that because my grandfather was a bureaucrat, and like you hung out, your family hung out with the Gandhis. He too hung out with Gandhi and Nehru. So a little bit historical relevance I've picked up here and there. So this question I really wanted to know. So बड़ी खुशी हुई कि आपके सामने भी हुआ है because मुझे लगा लोग आपसे बोलते नहीं होंगे आपके सामने.
नहीं बोलते हैं. It's okay. It's nice. Why not? It's my ancestors. Nothing, no credit.
Of course, and it's such
the
a
whole
nice
Tata Birlas come because of my great grandfathers and their good deeds. And in fact, sometimes we feel we have to live up to them, but we may not be able to because they were so great.
Indeed. Indeed. So, what do you like to eat and drink? You've said you're a vegetarian and obviously you don't consume alcohol, but खाने में क्या शौक है आपके?
Since I'm into weight training, and also into fitness, I have a lot of healthy food. Um,
अच्छा, हेल्दी फूड के बारे में तो रोज लोग बात करते हैं, आप थोड़ा अनहेल्दी शौक बताएं अपने, मतलब आपको अनहेल्दी खाने में क्या पसंद है? कभी कभी
मीठा. I love
मीठा
cakes
सभी
and
बोलते हैं.
pastry, but I don't have egg also, so I search for vegan cakes and pastries. So vegan cakes, pastries, meetha, rasgulla, jalebi, I love, and that's the time I kind of cheat. Cheat meals are all sweet. I'm not very fond of fried food, and also doesn't matter. Too. And I'm not a foodie. I eat to live, not live to eat, like a lot of people. So I'm very happy, even if it's a bitter vegetable juice. I'm very happy drinking, thinking it's going to add to some health and my fitness goals. So my cheat meals, but yes, are meetha.
But when you invite someone to dinner, the food is like normal, not what you would like to eat, or is it all healthy on that format also?
You sorry, I didn't get your question.
No, like when suppose you invite people for dinner or lunch, then is the food primarily based on health, or is it okay like proper Marwari Rajasthani food?
Yeah. Then it's proper Marwari, Thali, Rajasthani, Kair Sangri ka saag, dal ka puri, which has oil and tail and everything. But there's always a healthy option. Because there is always a meal made for me at some point of the day, which can be offered to somebody. But a lot of people are now into, they say we don't have fried, we don't want to have sugar. So that option is always there. But yes, I make a proper Marwari meal for a lot of people.
But I've noticed that the people who whine the most about unhealthy food are consuming it the most. Not people like you, but most.
That's true, and a lot of times we don't even unknowingly consume unhealthy food. All those processed packaged food, which say low cal and fat free and all, they're the worst because they're all processed and this is not going to a different topic, but we have every food is sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. It's qualities of your personality, and this is all tamasic processed food because it makes you sluggish and lethargic and doesn't suit your metabolism.
So no French fries for you.
No, I am not. I don't know actually. I may not have eaten one for 2 years. I'm not saying I don't like it when I eat it, but I'm not eating for 2 years.
Okay, what's the first thing you do in the morning and the last thing you do at night?
Last thing I do at night is very easy, meditate. And meditate and I lie down and go to sleep. It has to be that way. I say my prayer and I meditate. First thing in the morning is tough because I'm always in a rush to get to my newspaper reading and then to work, either at home or either at office. And I'm not a very early riser, so I'm a little flustered in the morning. But sometimes I do my meditation even in the morning, or I do an empty, if I have time, and if it's a Saturday, let's say, I do an empty stomach cardio, like I walk for about half an hour to treadmill, because that's good on an empty stomach. It can be done only first thing in the morning. Sometimes it's that, and sometimes it's just, like as I told you, rush to get to your agendas.
What kind of COVID pajamas have you been wearing? Everyone's wearing COVID pajamas. So what do yours look like? Cherry, please.
I've been every night sleep in the traditional kurta pajama since when I was a kid, right? So it's a proper kurta, half sleeves, and a proper pajama. That's when I've not had a bath or when I'm sleeping. It's in that room. I'm in that car.
COVID pajamas. You have changed COVID pajamas to real kurta pajamas. Bravo, Yash.
Yeah, and that's actually where your earlier question about your family's dresses. That actually most of the day, because let's say 8 hours in the night and 1-2 hours in the morning, 10 hours of the day I'm in traditional Indian clothes, which is considered congenial to tradition, culture, whatever. I'm wearing kurta pajama.
So, what is the emotion you felt most in the lockdown?
Peace, tranquility, introspection, detachment, couple of them. All similar, but elaborated.
What can you not resist in life?
Oh, that's a tough one. So I don't like structures and restrictions. So I can't restrict. I like. So if want to go somewhere, like I want to go to Rishikesh and I have it in a structure that I can't resist. It becomes more and more persistent. Or if I want to go, let's say to a party and somebody says, don't go because it's press and media and you shouldn't be there or whatever. I go more because I don't like anything which is restricted or structured. So then I do that more.
You're a rebel
like
with
any
and without a cause. You're a rebel with and without a cause, depending on your mood.
Yeah, because if I'm not doing anything wrong and again I'm doing everything with my conscience, then why shouldn't I do what I feel like doing? As long as I'm not hurting anyone.
Right.
If I'm not hurting anybody, I'd never do it.
Right.
I'm myself.
When are you at your happiest?
My daughter is my apple of my eyes and she's the biggest joy for me. Now she's become old, so I keep regretting when she was growing up for the happiest moments and she was a child and I used to play with her. Now, as you know, all teenagers, they go through their.
Do you think she looks like you?
Yeah, quite a lot. Of late, yeah. Like she used to look more like Avanti, everyone used to say, but now I think she started looking more like me. Which I keep telling, yeah, you're looking exactly like me. So she's a lot of joy. The other thing is, of course, spiritual practices, satsangs. I have the art of living satsangs once a month at my home. They're blissful, lovely, joy, energy, meditation. Simple thing that I don't want to just sound very, what would I say, pure and holier than thou. So I love watching movies. Very happy watching a good thriller film. Like intense thriller. I don't like these light-hearted comedy.
Predictable ones, yeah.
Yeah, I like that where it really involves you psychologically. Whether it's twisted, whether it's crime, whether it's whatever. So I'm very happy watching a movie. I'm very happy going to a coffee shop. I don't like dinners because they're too long and I don't like, as I said, I don't live to eat. So I'm not fond of food. So I don't like something which is going on too long. But I love going to a coffee shop, looking around, chilling, whatever. That gives me joy. Techno music, which is the only other type of music I like besides Bhajans. I love going where there's good techno music playing. There's a club, whatever. It gives me happiness. Being with nature in the mountains, in the snow, the hills and the river, all lovely. I can stare and feel happy.
So many things make you happy, which is how it should be.
Yeah, I think the more and more you become spiritual, even little things start giving you joy. Otherwise, we are always searching for, oh, if we have this, then we'll be happy. But you need to be happy in the present with small things. So I'm chatting with you, we're having an interesting conversation. It's happy. In that moment, I'm happy.
Yes.
It's giving me joy. It's not like, I mean, it's actually interesting. We talked about culture, heritage, spirituality, fashion, Gandhiji. So it's given me joy. So why shouldn't I be happy about it?
Right. Thank you. Who's the most fashionable person in your world?
That's the first question I'll fail on. As you know, I just don't look at.
Just say yourself. I am.
When you're saying it, I resonate what you're saying.
You are. You are the
okay,
most fashionable person.
Thank you. Okay, so that's my answer. Because I don't really look around and judge people what they're doing. I just into myself in this area. So you're right. It's me.
Okay. This is my last question. It's the Rubina question. It's in two parts. Personally, your calm disposition really inspires me. I want to be that. And I want to learn from you. And you speak so eloquently and articulately. So I'm very delighted with this conversation. And of course, I want to know how to stay this calm like you. So I guess I'll learn from you offline. But the fun question to end this is, how sexy do you think you look and feel on your own perception, no one else's? See?
That's right, a really tough one. You got me there.
I flipped the question back.
You got me there. Oh, that's a really tough one. I think it's diametrically opposite. To some, it's very, like on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe 9, and to some, it's 1. I just don't suit their taste. So I represent what people would feel, because you're talking about sex appeal. So that's something what people feel about. It's not what you feel about yourself.
No. Sexy is how you feel about yourself.
About yourself.
Yes,
You're
yes.
talking
There
about
is no
about
sex
myself.
appeal and the 1990s kind of question. Oh, she has sex appeal. Firstly, I've never understood that term. No.
It's what you feel.
How
Okay, so
sexy do you
let me
feel?
educate myself. It's how you
You
feel
have
about
to tell
yourself.
us how sexy do you feel and do you think you are sexy looking?
No, not sexy. That's not the right word. I would say that I'm attractive.
I was thinking that you're attractive looking.
Yeah, it's a good spiritual energy. It's a decent face, and it's a
Oh, please, let's not be
it's a worked
modest
on
about
body.
the face. No,
It's a worked on body.
listen. You have nothing to do with your face. Your parents gifted it to you on your birthday, the day you were born. So let's not be immodest. It is a great face.
How sweet! That's so kind of you.
No, it truly is.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
that
Very
hair, and the energy, the affable nature. I mean, it's a cosmic beauty that is Yash Birla.
Oh, wow! What a statement! I love that. I love your last statement. If it's a climax, it's the best.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
So we have climaxed.
That's amazing. What a lovely. I'll remember this last statement. It's gone within. With the cosmic energy, cosmic beauty, it just goes with it.
It does with your persona. So thank you, Yash, so much for your time. And thank you for speaking to me and to the people who heard our little chat. And thank you. I'm going to try and be calm like you.
Thank you so much. You definitely are. Every human being is. It's just you. Sometimes you realize it, sometimes you don't. But you are the same as me. 100%. Thank you so much. Really grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.